Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing my January wrap up and also talking about why I'm no longer rating books. Okay, so if you've been on my channel for a long time, you might remember that for a period of time in 2017 I wasn't rating the books that I was reading, and I don't remember exactly why I chose to do that, but I'm doing it again. So the short and sweet reason why I'm not rating books anymore is because I just don't enjoy doing it. When I'm reading a book, I'm constantly stressing out about what rating I'm going to give it, and then my ratings just never seem to be clear. I made a whole video last year about how I rate my books, and I realized while planning out that video that it just doesn't make any sense. One book could be a 4 stars, and I could really love that book, and it could be a favorite, but it's not a 5-star, and then I could have some 4 stars that I enjoyed but don't love, and it makes no sense, and I don't feel like it properly explains how much I love a book or why I like a book, so I've just decided to stop doing it. And let me tell you, I really enjoy not having to worry about what rating to give a book, so that's kind of like the short and sweet answer to why I'm not rating books anymore. But yeah, let's just get right into the video. So the first book that I read in January, I'm not going to talk too much about because I do have a whole spoiler-free reading vlog for it, and that is Infinity Sun by Adam Silvera. I won this arc in a giveaway. It is currently out. It came out on the 14th. So I tried to go into this book with fairly low expectations because there were a lot of bad or mixed reviews coming out about this book on Twitter, and I didn't have high hopes for it. So I wanted to go in with fairly low expectations, hoping that when I would read it I would be pleasantly surprised by the book. Unfortunately, that did not happen. So in my own opinion, nothing about this book was compelling. I didn't like the plot, I didn't like the characters at all. These were like some of the least memorable characters I have ever read about, and I actively hated one of the main characters. I didn't even explain to you what this book is about, and that's because I honestly don't even know how to explain it. Like, I read this book and I still don't really know how to explain it to you, but I'm gonna try. So it takes place in New York City. It's an urban fantasy book. So there's these things called Celestials, and they have superpowers, and our main characters Emil and Brighton are just turning 18 at the beginning of the book, and Brighton really wants superpowers, and Emil is the one that ends up getting them. I'm not going to be continuing on with the series. I don't know if it's a duology or a trilogy, but I'm not going to be continuing on because I just don't care about these characters. I honestly don't remember most of what happened. I just didn't care. The next book I read, thank God, was one that I actually did really enjoy, and that was Radio Silence by Alice Oseman. Peyton gifted this to me for Christmas, so thankful to her for giving this to me. So despite its like higher word count, this is a pretty lengthy contemporary novel. I thought it was a super quick read, and I wasn't really bored, or I didn't feel like the pacing dragged at all throughout the book. I thoroughly enjoyed this entire novel. So basically, we follow our main character, Frances, and she is like a total like school nerd. She studies all the time, and she is like a top student, head girl at her school. She's obsessed with this YouTube podcast called Universe City, and near the beginning of the book, she actually finds out who the creator of this podcast is, because up until now their identity was a secret. She actually finds out that it's this boy named Alad that is friends with the head boy of her school, so they are acquaintances, and they end up becoming really close friends. So that's kind of like what this book's about, and I adore it so much. I really enjoyed that this book is about platonic friendships. So Alad and Frances don't fall in love. You will learn that very early on in the book. She clearly states we do not fall in love in this story, and I love that. Normally I am like a huge romance person. I do really enjoy a good solid romance in the books that I'm reading, but for some reason this one, it didn't bother me that there was no romance. I didn't feel like it was lacking anywhere, and there were like background romances so to kind of like feed that void, I guess, but I really enjoyed this book. And it also really reminded me of Eliza and Her Monsters, but like sans romance, because in that book the main character creates a webcomic, and then she meets a boy who loves her webcomic, and he doesn't know her identity, so it kind of reminds me of that in a vague sort of way. Parts of this book definitely like resonated with me. There were feelings of loneliness and isolation, and I heavily relate to that, especially like in my past. I really related to that. I still feel it now as well, and so seeing characters go through that and deal with that made me feel some things. Like so much so that one of the like paragraphs or quotes in this book I actually like stopped reading and was like, whoa, that hit me hard. And I like texted my friends about it. I texted Alyssa and Peyton because they both read the book, and I was like, whoa. And then like I immediately like grabbed my journal and I wrote the quote down in my journal, because sometimes I just write down quotes or song lyrics that I like. But to say the least, I thought this novel was beautifully done, and I'm definitely interested in reading more Alice Oseman books, because the only one that I've actually read was Heartstopper Volume 1, but I definitely loved this book. The next book I'm going to talk about, I'm not going to talk about for too long because it's actually a writing book, but I thought I would include it anyways because obviously I read it, but it is Save the Cat Writes a Novel by Jessica Brody. I have a writing blog that you guys can go check out in the cards where I bought this book and read it, and I love this book. If you guys are a writer, you definitely need to check this book out. It talks all about story structure and a bit about characters, and it gives like real like modern day examples of books and like the beat sheet and everything like that. So you get to see examples from Me Before You by Jojo Moyes, you get to see examples from Wonder by R.J. Palacio, The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins, like so many books that you have probably heard of at least or that you have read. And this book basically just explores everything about story structure and the Save the Cat beat sheet that was originally created by Blake Snyder. This book is life-changing. I love it so much that I kept raving about it to Peyton, and now she has bought herself a copy and is reading it, and I'm just, this is a game changer and I'm obsessed. Like, can you see all of these tabs that I have? And it's not even like a book that you're just gonna like one and done read and then never touch again, because there are some books that I've done that with where I just read it once and I'm like, okay, you're useless. This book is always on my desk now, and I'm constantly flipping through it to reread parts or to get inspiration, and I am simply obsessed. Every writer should buy this book, or at least get it from the library. Like, try to read this book in any way that you can, because it is fantastic. And the last book that I read was City of Ashes by Cassandra Clare. So in December, I don't have a wrap up for December, but in December I read City of Bones. I reread City of Bones, and I'm trying to reread some Cassandra Clare books, specifically TMI and TID, because Channel Gold comes out, and I'm just like kind of in the Shadowhunter mood, so I'm slowly making my way through these books, and I really like them. I just love this world. I love these characters so much, and I'm totally willing to admit the problems within this series, specifically the original trilogy, these first 3 books. Yeah, there's a lot of problems with like incest and like girl hate, but I'm willing to overlook it, especially because this is a reread, so I already know what happens with the rest of the storyline, and I know that the girl hate doesn't persist and the incest goes away, and I'm kind of just willing to accept it. And I know that not everybody is, but it doesn't really bother me that much. I just thought that I would mention that I know that there are problems within this series, especially the first 3, but I don't care. But in general, I just love revisiting these characters in the early stages and remembering where they started off, because their characters are all so different from where we currently are in the Shadowhunter world. Like, by the time you get to the Dark Artifices and you see these characters in cameos, they are completely different and are in completely different places, and it's so much fun, honestly, to just see their early days, see everything blossom for the first time. Like the beginning of Malik is in this book, and it's beautiful, and I'm just so excited to continue reading on and to re-experience all of these things again, because I've never reread these books, and I'm just, oh, I don't know. I'm just trash for Cassandra Clare and for the series, and I'm just so excited to continue reading on. But like, basically, these books are just entertaining, they're easy to read, and they're just fun. I know not everybody thinks like that, but I do. They're just fun. It's just fun, and that's what reading is about. It's just about having fun, so I try not to take these books too seriously. I'm just along for the cringy ride that is the Shadowhunter Chronicles. So those are all the books that I read in January. It wasn't an amazing reading month quantity-wise, quality-wise. It was pretty dang good, except for Infinity Sun, but overall I had a pretty good start to the year, and I'm excited to see where the rest of the year takes me. But thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Give it a huge thumbs up if you did enjoy. Comment down below what you guys read in the month of January, and I will see you guys next time.